Coming up on today's episode of Airborne-Unlimited, FAA issues emergency AD for 737-9. Updated penalty sharpens government fangs. Airlines for America points finger at Part 91 for ATC delays. Welcome to Airborne Unlimited. I'm your host, Holland Lee. Let's get into today's stories. FAA issues emergency AD for 737-9. The FAA issued an Emergency Airworthiness Directive regarding a particular configuration of Boeing 737 MAX 9 aircraft after a high-profile incident with an Alaska Airlines flight. The EAD affects all 737-9 aircraft certificated in any category that have a mid-cabin door plug installed. The FAA says that there are 171 such aircraft and will require about 8 hours of inspections in order to return them to service. The inspections will hopefully prevent the, quote, potential in-flight loss of a mid-cabin door plug, which could result in injury to passengers and crew, the door impacting the airplane, and/or the loss of control of the airplane. The directive continues, quote, this AD prohibits further flight of affected airplanes until the airplane is inspected and all applicable corrective actions have been performed using a method approved by the manager, end quote. The FAA is clear that it considers the missive to be an interim action, stating, quote, if final action is later identified, the FAA might consider further rulemaking then, end quote. The FAA will not allow special flight permits for routine flights, only allowing them to be issued in an unpressurized condition throughout their voyage. And coming up after the break, Anti-Aviation Santa Monica approves site survey for airport park conversion.
Skyleader Aircraft offers a lineup of the most powerful, durable, and efficient light sport aircraft in the industry. From trainers to roomy cockpits for long hauls, Skyleader has an aircraft for you. And the best part? They're in your budget. Skyleader's base prices are set low to give you room to customize your aircraft to your needs, desires, and wallet, allowing you to put your money where it matters to you most. Visit flyskyleader.com today to learn about our aircraft, customization options, and chat with the team.
Well, hello, fellow pilot. I'm John King.
And I'm Martha King.
You know, we've all had our flying lives disrupted lately.
Well, King Schools is here to help you stay up to date with courses that you can access on your desktop, iPad, or iPhone. If you'd like a refresher or just want to expand your aviation horizons, we have a course for you.
So head over to kingschools.com/Rusty today for details.
Welcome back. Now let's take a trip around the patch for some shorter stories. Anti-Aviation Santa Monica approves site survey for airport park conversion. Sasaki Incorporated has signed an agreement with the Santa Monica City Council to survey, study, and plan out a conversion to develop the soon-to-be former airport into a park, despite the loss of jobs, mobility, access to emergency air services, and so much more. The airport will continue to operate as usual until December 31st, 2028. The 227-acre airport falls under the guidelines of Measure LC, which permits development for parks, public facilities, recreational areas, and maintenance of existing cultural, arts, and educational purposes. Midwest Eclipse fly-in at Mount Vernon Outland announced. Mount Vernon Outland Airport, KMVN in Mount Vernon, Illinois, will be the home of the Midwest MVN Eclipse Homecoming, a free airshow at the LSA Expo Fave. The town sits smack dab in the middle of the total solar eclipse that will take place on April 8, 2024, when the moon blots out the sun for a brief 4-minute window. Mount Vernon locals invited, quote, pretty much everyone as well as locals to attend. Even better for prospective attendees, quote, all the amenities of your previous visits will remain, end quote. FedEx pilots again clamor for contract. A statement from Captain Billy Wilson, chair of the FedEx ALPA Master Executive Council, says, quote, As we sat down at the bargaining table for the first time in 2024, it was disappointing to read management's comments made to a small group of pilots that downplayed their prospects to provide an industry-leading contract," end quote. FedEx pilots have evidently gotten wise to the routine after a few years, seeing their company make record-breaking profits since 2020. Their resolve has been steeled throughout recent months to the point they rejected a tentative agreement in July 2023. First A350 hull loss proves costly for insurers. JAL is in a tough spot after losing their Airbus A350 in the recent incident at Tokyo Haneda, with a $100 million price tag to clean up the mess. The carrier's shiny new Airbus A350 was a total loss, though parts of the wing don't look all that worse for wear. Luckily for the airline, the aircraft will be covered under their all-cause insurance policy, all 15 billion yen worth. Those in the know believe that American insurer AIG is the lead on a $130 million policy. The coverage breaks down to a whole value of $117 million and a $13 million total loss only coverage. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Let's get back to the rest of the news. Updated penalty schedule sharpens government fangs. The 2024 Federal Register has been published with updated penalty schedules for various infractions, kicking up the price of some crimes for those who run afoul of regulations with the DOT. The new rates generally take the 2023 penalties and multiply them by 1.03241. That proves for a mechanism for the continual increase of penalties on an annual basis in order to keep their teeth sharp as a method of punishment, lest inflation render them meaningless. This year, rates are rising by about 3.241%, as pegged to the Consumer Price Index. Overall, it's not a tremendous difference, since violations are generally around tens of thousands of dollars, but those who have to pay penalties have to pay lawyers too. For instance, last year the penalty for lazing an aircraft sat at $30,820 and is now $31,819. Quote, physical or sexual assault, or threat to physically or sexually assault crew member or other individual on an aircraft, or action that poses an imminent threat to the safety of the aircraft or individuals on board, end quote, now carries a $43,685 penalty, up from $42,287 last year. And after these messages, Airlines for America points finger at Part 91 for ATC delays.
I think it's a very important thing to share the joy and love of flying. Our customers fly to remote places. They use our products to go places that are difficult to get to. Hertz has been an excellent partner for Whitaker, just in terms of your product support, as well as keeping an eye on the market and developing new products that meet demands. And it is that shared experience and the joy of flying that brings us all back and charges all of our batteries up.
Coming to Sun & Fun's 50th fly-in celebration, Trace Atkins for an opening day concert.
I took a war since I was a kid between Jesus and John.
Don't miss Trace Atkins with special guest Sarah Evans.
Ponytail girl grown up to be a woman, now she's gone in a blink of an eye.
Get your tickets now and be a part of the kickoff celebration for Sun & Fun's 50th fly-in. Go to flysnf.org.
Welcome back. Airlines for America points finger at Part 91 for ATC delays. Airlines for America sent off an end-of-year letter to Administrator Whitaker and Secretary Buttigieg requesting their institutional pull in reducing airline delays for the traveling public, and their aim, reducing private traffic. The letter is conspicuously absent from the A4A website, but copies of the December 27th missive made the rounds to the irritation of Part 91 and 135 operators around the country. A4A isn't a small-time lobbyist either, representing American, Delta, United, Southwest, and a bevy of smaller airlines. In the letter, Chief Nicholas Callio gives kudos to the FAA's infrastructure workers for keeping pace throughout the holiday season, with nary a meltdown in sight despite frazzled and understaffed personnel around the country. After giving his respect, Callio moves on to finger-pointing. Quote, I want to call your attention to certain concerning air traffic control conditions leading to operational challenges for A4A carriers during the holiday. Specifically, significant non-scheduled aviation operations, i.e. business and private aviation volume, along with continued ATC staffing challenges have driven increased delays and cancellations over the holiday period. End quote. And that's our show for today. You can catch episodes of Airborne on YouTube, Roku, or Fire TV. Just search for Aero-News or Airborne, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Thanks for watching.